Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox. Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
All right, welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show, and we have a live studio audience for this episode. Today we're talking about eating disorders, and I think it's probably more important to talk about now than ever, especially because of the pandemic, and a lot of people have been comfort eating, and the relationship between us and food is just messed up, let's be honest. To talk about that, Dr. Stephanie Waitt? Mm-hmm. Yes, like wait a minute.
Yep, wait a minute.
That's it. You are a licensed professional counselor, and you talk to people about eating disorders. Mm-hmm. So has it gotten worse over the years? Do you think we're more messed up as a society?
Yes, with food and our bodies, 100%. Yes, there's such a... Our culture really values like health and fitness and weight loss and dieting, and I think that has... they've always been an issue, right? It's a disease, but because of the obsession with dieting,
yes,
we are seeing more and more.
And I've got to believe the social media feeds. I mean, every time you turn around, you see somebody else, and they're showing you their airbrushed best, mm-hmm, right? You don't even know if you're looking at reality. That must put a lot of pressure, especially on young people.
Mm-hmm. It does. I mean, that's where they're spending their time. They're scrolling, and it comes up with my clients, the things that they're seeing on social media and the comparison that we get ourselves into. And it's a disease that distorts information, right, in the brain. And so we're all guilty of comparing ourselves on social media. So now imagine a person with maybe this like brain disease that's distorting information. It's even harder to like not compare yourself to the people.
And it becomes
a
vicious cycle, doesn't it? You feel stressed, so you eat, and then you feel guilty because you're putting on pounds. I mean, it's a never-ending cycle. It is.
I always explain, it's like, so we all have a reward center in our brain, right? So like when it's time to eat, we kind of we get a little, call it my happy girl dance, right? I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna put some food in me. Well, when you have an eating disorder, it's the opposite. That part of the brain is like turned upside down. And so I am happy to get food. Someone with the disease is not happy to get the food or be around food. Their brain just doesn't work the way that we want it to work.
I've been on your social media. You are a real cool counselor who really gets into it. And you're somebody that everybody can relate to. We've got one clip. We're going to roll that now.
Hello, that was a really spastic wave. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesdays Live from the Couch with me, Dr. Steph. It's a few minutes after 1 here, and I come live once a week on Tuesdays from the couch from my office, just to kind of talk mental health. And I think my intention for that is to try to remove a lot of the stigma around mental health. It's hard for people to feel like they deserve help. It's hard because some people don't know if they need help. And because a lot of people have been told messages, throughout life that like their mental health, their emotions were something or weren't something, sending this message again that like, okay, maybe I'm not someone who should get help, but we really stigmatize mental health, and we make it hard for people to get help and to get treatment. And I think one of the reasons that happens is because the media and how mental health is portrayed in the media.
Let's talk about that. The media does play such a big role in our lives. How is mental health portrayed in the media?
It's getting better, thank God. I think we for so long saw really sick people who were super like in a crisis. They were either, you know, on the verge of suicide, or they were super like, I don't want to use the word crazy, but for lack of a better word, they're not well, right? They're sick. And so those things are scary, and we compare ourselves to that. Well, I'm not walking the streets talking to myself, or I'm not, you know, an 85-pound emaciated anorexic. So I am not what the media has told me I need to look like to get help. So I must not have a problem. I have to look like that to have a problem.
Tell us your journey.
I think there's like a professional and a personal side. Professionally, I've always wanted to be a therapist. So went and did the school thing, studied psychology. Trauma was my love, because I have always had this sense of like justice, and it's so wrong that people who are traumatized and victimized, right, have to live impacted lives because somebody did something to them, right? And then after graduate school, I got a job working with Timberline Knowles. I helped start that program, which is like a leading eating disorder program in the country. Kind of went and did some other work for a little bit in the trauma field, and personally developed an eating disorder that I didn't know was an eating disorder at the time, because didn't fit the anorexic, 85-year-old. I was very fit, I was healthy, I was doing fitness competitions. But when we lose a lot of weight and we get really underweight, we develop sometimes, not all of us, we can develop a disease. I did, and had to learn all about treating eating disorders, and that's how I kind of got out of it and realized, wait, we can recover, we can heal, and I need to teach more people about this issue, because if I struggled and I was a therapist, how many people are struggling and like have no idea that this is a really dangerous thing that they're doing?
Yes. And I think that probably makes you really relatable to your clients, that they know you've been there. It's not just a diploma on a wall and you never walked a mile in their shoes. Now, I got to draw attention to the elephant in the room. So my dad, when I was growing up, spoiled us with candy. And I associate candy with love.
Yeah.
And having that in front of you, does that trigger anything for you?
No, it doesn't now, but I'm also like healthy. Have a very healthy relationship with food. If I were in my eating disorder, that would trigger somebody. I have clients where I'll have a cookie. I eat with clients and I'll just set the cookie, and they've had to their anxiety gets so high because there's candy just sitting there. I might catch the calories from the food on the table.
So, we talked a little bit about the stigma around mental health, but it is changing now. I know a lot of employers are providing therapists for their own employees because their employees are working from home, and sometimes they're battling loneliness and stress.
Yeah.
Do you think it's changing?
I hope it's changing. It is changing. There's more people talking about it. I have clients that'll Snapchat from my office. The the younger generation are very vocal about, I'm in therapy, this is what my therapist said, and I own it. And I think the media is also helping deliver that message by people are being more honest,
Yes.
I think, online.
Yes. We're almost out of time. Go ahead and look into the camera and just tell that person at home who's really trying to work up the courage to reach out for professional
Sure.
help. What do they need to know?
You are sick enough, right? I hear this 100 times a day from online and my clients. It doesn't look a certain way. It doesn't feel a certain way. If you're uncomfortable, if you're anxious, you are sick enough, period, and you deserve to feel better. You deserve to be happy, right? We all deserve to be happy, and if you're not happy, go talk to somebody to feel happy. You can.
Wow.
Period.
That was beautiful. Okay, the website is TexomaSpecialtyCounseling.com. Please get in touch with Dr. Waitt and reach out. Plug into her social media. She's all over it. Round of applause for Stephanie. That's awesome. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.